Point is, growth is inevitable. Went up already. I know it for sure already. From what I originally purchased that to what it is now, it's not even done up yet. So it's significant. At the end of the day, if you don't have control over your personal economy, you're gonna get pushed around left and right, unfortunately. And welcome to the channel Do My Life. This video is more dedicated to my friend James Washington, who from time to time asks me about updates where my home country is, the Philippines, specifically Dumaguete, Philippines, Negros Oriental. If you guys don't know, Do My Life is short for Dumaguete, the island that I come from. I was born in the Philippines, Negros Island. I'm proud from the island I come from. Do My Life also means do my life, right? Because it's got double meaning, right? Double meaning. I don't know what it's called, but it's do my life, do my life. Give an update on things happening in the Philippines on my end. Since my dad's death, my brother and I, my siblings and I have been trying to take care of all the properties we have in the Philippines because, like my mom and my dad bought so many things for us, for the family to build out and things like that. But certain things, the mindset was a bit different back then. It was just acquire, without refining or taking care of other things when it comes to growth. That's our responsibility now with my generation, my brother, my sisters, and so on and so forth. I am trying my best to teach my nephews and my nieces to bring them into the fold, pretty much. We have some prime real estate in the middle of Dumaguete City. We have some stuff near Suleiman University. It's right up here. And if you are in Dumaguete, if you ever see the Vergara building, this one right here, so right here, that's the family's building. My wife and I have properties in Bacong, which is like a town over, not like two towns over. This is where the new Bacong, I guess, Dumaguete International Airport is going to be. And thank God I was fortunate enough, I am fortunate enough, my wife and I are, to have our property. It's going to be right next to the airport. So it's going to be extremely commercial. If you want to talk about worth and things like that, right now Dumaguete's, I think right now 35 or 45,000 per square meter. We collectively own in Dumaguete City, collectively own close to maybe closer to 5,000 square meters of properties, right? My wife and I, we own on that one property, we have about like 6,500 square meters. So if you multiply that times 35 or 45,000, 25, even low end 25,000, high end 45,000 per square meter, that's how much we have in assets. So at the present moment, some of the properties are not developed yet, just straight land, so it's going to be cheaper. But some of the properties that have buildings on them already, obviously it's going to be significant. So the Dumaguete right now is growing exponentially. They are trying to convert it into a smart city. They're lengthening the boardwalk. I think they have talks about lengthening the boardwalk all the way to Bacong, which is pretty cool. Some people are against the growth of what's happening in Dumaguete because, there's topics of contention about reclaiming like the boardwalk and making it wider. It's ruining the sea life and things like that. Unfortunately, my point of view is these topics of contention are always going to happen. Like if you look at like New York City, if I show some old pictures of New York, I'm sure it was like all wooded area at one point, but it became New York. Not saying that Dumaguete is going to turn into New York. It's too small for that. But my point is, growth is inevitable, right? Filipinos are always complaining there's no jobs, no this, no that. So you cannot, you have to understand, there's no room to contest when it's for the future growth of that island. Let's just specifically talk about this, just the island specifically. So there's no, I don't understand why people are complaining. Yes, to a good degree, it's not going to be the old Dumaguete people are used to. That's a fact that we both have to. We all have to face, especially the older people that have been living there for years. It's going to be a bit more expensive because it is expensive now. it's going to be more expensive because they're putting an infrastructure there that is inviting more money into the economy there, which in turn, prices will generally drive up anyway because more money is pumping into the town. Now, I do believe that Dumaguete and maybe some of the outskirts, Dumaguete and the surrounding towns and cities like Darwin, Samongita, Bacong, Batingil, Cebulan out there, San Jose, and things like that. Those are gonna feel the reaches of that growth. Outside of that, it's still gonna be slow growth because a lot of it's still agricultural. So I just wanted to share that with you as far as what's happening to Dumaguete now. I still talk to the employees. I still talk to my brother and things like that. So we are still taking care of things out there as far as what needs to be done and how we can prepare for our family's personal growth. So it's never going to be easy because you got to leverage a lot of things to make things happen, and usually you got to leverage a lot of money and try to find that balance of trying to earn some money and pay off debt and things like that. The good thing is that the majority or all our properties we don't have no debt on, so that's great. That's why thank God for my parents for taking care of us in that way. We're just refining everything now. What I see in the future for Dumaguete, Bacong, in that area, it's exploding right now, right? Like Ruby and I have a condo there. I know that the equity went up already. I know for sure already. From what I originally purchased that to what it is now, it's not even done up yet. So it's significantly gone up. Bacong in general is going to be a bit more expensive, which because the international airport's going to be there. So from my knowledge of what's happening there, a lot of money is getting pumped there right now in preparation for the airport. It's not going to happen for the next 5 to 10 years maybe, and hold off on these negative comments about it's going to take 20 years, 30, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's moving. We know people that are in the projects and stuff like that, like actually taking care of certain things there. So I know it's happening. They acquired one of my family's properties already for this project already. So, and they paid it out already, or half of it already right now. So a lot of things are generally going on the uptrend on the growth of the island. I'm for it because it secures jobs for the local people, right? And wherever you go, unfortunately, with all this traffic coming in, there's always, all this traffic and population is going to go up. Pollution is going to go up. I understand this. I understand the effects of what's going to happen with this growth. I just hope that the government will put an importance on the infrastructure, like even waste management, things like that, because that's going to be a big thing. Taking care of, just taking care of the law enforcement, because crime is going to probably go up a little bit. Generally speaking, Dumaguete's always been, for me, safe. There's always things that happen. You can't stop crimes. You just can't stop crimes. But generally speaking, Dumaguete is still a safe place. I mean, I don't like it when people are always saying, like, can you even go out? Can you wander around? Can you do this? Can you do that? Certain parts of the Philippines, I suggest you foreigners don't be walking around. Because by yourself. By yourself. But then again, that's the same statement for Filipinos. Like some Filipinos, I wouldn't suggest walking around freely in certain areas. Me, because I don't have a big status, but they know already I'm not from there, and I'm telling you, people that are around there, they can tell from your skin, your hands, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you conduct yourself. That that's you might come from some type of affluence. I don't know to the degree how affluent you are. And sometimes that might protect you at the same time. But after a while, I mean, when somebody when it's your time, it's your time. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that, I don't want to make it into a tangent, but I just want to do an update on, the island I come from. But yeah, nonetheless, prices in just Dumaguete, getting a bit more expensive than usual compared to other islands. There's small condos that, like, I don't think an average American will pay. I think right now it's like $200,000 or $100,000, but the size of some of these condos are super small. Doesn't make any sense. You're overpaying drastically. But Just like with anything, other countries that countries, places, and things like that, you're paying for location when it comes to real estate. Honestly, you're paying for convenience. You're paying for amenities, right? You can buy a mansion for $50,000, but if it's in high in the hills, it's 100 kilometers into, from the main city. Is it really worth it? You know what I'm saying? You have to ask yourself. But if you pay 10 million pesos for a property that's in the city itself, and if you like that vibe, is it worth it? It's really up to you. Me personally, I love being at my house in Bacong because it's a farm. It gives me a farm vibe. I'm okay with that. My wife, on the other hand, she wants to be closer to the amenities. That's why she loves Virginia Beach, because we're right near a town center and things like that. She loves this vibe. Not too much metro, as in like in the middle of like Manhattan and stuff like that. Not too much like that, but that balance of being far away to be, you can have time for yourself, and being close enough to being close enough to get what you want, and amenities wise. Now, it's a lot of, when I speak to other Filipinos and Americans as well, I hear comments like, it's dangerous out there, it's this out there, it's that out there. Like, if it was that dangerous, why do I have friends who are very affluent? It's kind of like, you can't just place judgment on one country, right? You just can't place judgment. You're telling me there's no place that's safe in the Philippines, or no place that's safe in any other country? It's impossible. I love Dumaguete because it's consistently progressing up. That's, I'm a bit biased because we have, interest in that city, long interest in that city. So I love the growth of Dumaguete. I might get some comments from other people from Dumaguete who don't like it because of what, essentially, it's like they're turning Dumaguete into the island that they don't want, right? They're used to that that quietness, and which we still get. Generally speaking, Dumaguete for the longest time is packed during the school months. In the summertime, that place is almost like ghost town, which for me I prefer, right? I prefer, but for business, doesn't make sense. Obviously, you need foot traffic, you need traffic for business. So, this is good for all the entrepreneurs in the town because of all the traffic in the next few years, right? So many more industries can go in there, and so many more people don't have to leave the country to make a living, right? So, comment down below if you agree or disagree, because at the end of the day, I don't really like the fact that a lot of Filipinos have to leave the country to make a living. I would like, because many Filipinos understand, and some Americans don't. Maybe now, after the whole 2020 thing, nobody is more nobody is more privileged than the entrepreneur, pretty much, in the Philippines especially. You can have your degrees and stuff like that. Everyone's pushing for, ownership of some type of business, ownership of some type of real estate. Comment down below if you think I'm wrong or right. The majority of Filipinos are pressed for, like, not domination, but like enterprising, because they understand the value of, working for yourself and having your own assets and things like that. So I just want to wrap this up and just want to share my thoughts on the growth of Dumaguete right now. It's, like I said, it's turning. They're pushing it to be a smart city. Outside of politics aside and all those things, I believe that we're in a good position for growth in Dumaguete. I don't know about the other islands and things like that. I don't know what they're doing. We had a mango farm in Cebu. We got to check that out because something happened to the trees and stuff after the hurricane and whatever. But my personal thought is, like, I'm only concerned about what's happening on the island, and then generally speaking, I dabble into what's happening in the country. But generally speaking, I always worry about my personal and my family's personal economy. That's it, because that's how my family raised me. I mean, that's how my dad and my mom raised me. Like, just be concerned with your personal economy. Forget all the other stuff, because at the end of the day, if you don't have control over your personal economy, you're gonna get pushed around left and right, unfortunately. So we have always been driven to take care of that, so we're always taking a risk, year on year, day by day, month to month, whatever, to try to make and solidify certain income streams. Myself included, my wife, us, the whole family, we're just driven that way, right? Like look at the interview with my nephews. My nephews are so driven. They encouraged my two nieces to go, my niece's boyfriend, and they recruited like six other more people. We're driven this way, and I'm sure if you're watching this channel, you might be driven as well. That's how my dad taught us to be like. Shout out to my father wherever he is right now. He wasn't the best guy when it comes to morals and stuff like that. However, he did show us or teach us that, it doesn't really matter where you begin. At the end of the day, it matters where you end up, and he's proved that, I don't know if money is like the real indicator of success and stuff like that, because trust me, he left a lot of things behind that I don't agree. But he just showed us the degree of effort you need to make in order to, solidify yourself and your family and stuff like that. And that's what he showed us, or at least that's what he showed me. So that's something that has always been with me as far as my work ethic and how I drive and how I just keep pushing forward. And not to sound chauvinistic or anything like that, just being a good man, a good provider, a good just a good person, treat people the way you want to be treated, even though sometimes my father didn't do that. But all I'm saying is that the growth of Dumaguete is great. I truly believe in it, and I support it. There's going to be things, the nuances I don't support, but generally speaking, if it's going to help the community, give more jobs to the young people, get people off of the streets, and not to get into stupid things, I'm all for it. Obviously, there's going to be things that are going to be a result to the growth. More people come in, crime doesn't go up, and things like that. But hopefully, the Dumaguete City officials and things like that, there are things in place for the infrastructure to ward those off or get it better. Like President Duterte, as many people don't like him for whatever, but you can't say that he didn't do anything good for the country when it comes to crime. If we can put those things in place in Dumaguete, we should be okay. But yeah, shout out to everyone who watches this video. I really don't know if anyone's gonna watch these videos. I'm gonna chop it up and try to condense it. But shout out to James Washington for encouraging me to do this video. I really appreciate you. Comment down below if you have any questions concerning the Philippines, where to go, where to stay, or whatever I can help you with, because I did live there for some time, and I genuinely I love the Philippines. I love America too. It is the greatest country in the world. But Philippines is a very close first for me, But yeah. So take care, God bless, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.